Hello, my name is Debbie Emily from Resonate Wellness Centre. I'm based here in Wellington, New Zealand. And as you can see, we have the beautiful sun shining through our window here today. It's a glorious day outside. I hope it's beautiful where you are. Today, I'm going to talk you through my own modality, being holographic dimensional healing. And for those that are watching my tales of dimensional healing, which is my somewhat narrating what has happened in some of these sessions, because they have been absolutely ridiculously powerful, and it just totally blows my mind what's happening in them. I encourage you to listen to this first, because that will give you an idea of what is actually happening within the session. Now, these sessions can be in person or they can be distant. I have worked with people all across the world, wherever you are, so it doesn't matter. And I was actually born into this world of knowing these things, and I've been doing distant healing. I don't like that word because it conjures up all sorts of things, but that's a term that we understand, many of us. So I have been working distantly for about 40 years, 50 years, something like that. So that's just come totally natural to me. So holographic dimensional healing, two big words there, holographic and dimensional. So what does it mean? In my perspective, in my world, in this modality that is coming through me, not by me, I am learning it as I'm using it, and it is growing as I'm using it. And it's just a magical, magical place to be. I'd like to get to a place of teaching it, but I think we need a little way to go yet. But for now, the holographic part means that in my world, the body is a hologram. And wherever we are, whatever we do, the energy of the hologram is left there, wherever you have been in any time, space, dimension, this lifetime, past lifetimes, wherever you have been, the energy of that hologram is there. And that is what I feel I am connecting with. Now, a hologram, as many of you I'm sure will know, if you have a look at your hologram on your bank card or in any other place that you have one, you will see that if it's in a certain angle, you cannot see the image, but then you turn it another way and you can see the image. And if you just cut a small corner of that square that's in your bank card, I don't encourage you to do that, but if you did, that tiny little part of that puzzle, you would see the whole of that image in that tiny little part. So when I say holographic, I feel that we are working with just that tiny little fractal, fraction, portion, piece of the puzzle, all these words come out when I'm doing these sessions, that represents the whole of that. So I feel that we are not working with the whole, it is just a tiny small part of it. And that's what's being connected with. The dimensional part, now that is where we can go, or I am taken or shown, more to the point, past, present, future, dimensional places that you can see it challenges me sometimes when I get shown these things. And that comes about as a result of the holographic energy, the vibration that is sending messages to me. So again, we have the holographic part, which is just a small part of that whole hologram, which represents the whole. And we have that dimensional side, which means anytime, any place, anywhere, ever. So holographic dimensional healing. And I will openly admit, I personally do not like the word healing. And I've been using other words, but I haven't come up with another one yet. So when I do, that word may change. So how does it work and what am I doing? I work with tuning forks, something like this, and I will strike it, and I'm just going to strike it for you now. You may not hear it. I'm just putting that towards the speaker. And I've done a few recordings using some of these tuning forks. So for me personally, this is the way that I interpret it, that everything that's happened to you in any time, space, or dimension is held in your holographic body. That holographic body to me is represented in barcodes. And this becomes my barcode reader. It's as simple as that. So when you are either on my treatment bench or anywhere in the world, for me, it makes no difference where you are. It is all the same. I can connect with the barcode of your holographic body. And it can be thick or thin barcodes or in between, and with the intention that is given, usually with the thicker barcodes initially, because they can have the deepest cleansing and clearing. This, when I strike it, will pick up on the barcode. So if you were to say, for example, I'm afraid of spiders, okay, just as an example, I could chime the tuning fork, place the tuning fork, connect with your holographic body, whether you're on the table or otherwise, connect with that, and then it would send me signals through the tuning fork to me of the information that is held within that barcode. Now, it can also be assimilated to something like grooves on a record. So when the needle goes over the groove, I think many of us know what records are nowadays because they all came back in fashion. So when the needle goes around the groove of the record, that contains information, and you are hearing that information. That is, for me, exactly the same thing. That information comes through me, not by me. It is not necessarily, or hardly ever at all, my opinions or thoughts. And I convey that information to you. Now, if you are with me in person, it is not always recorded. But if it's distant, then it is always recorded, and you always get a recording of the session, and you do not need to be present at all in any way, shape or form. I do not need to speak to you. I do not need to see you. All I need is an email to say, I would like a session. This is what I want to know about. And we organize the time, and I send you the recording. And these are the tales of dimensional healing that I am now narrating on a video. And I'm also going to be putting in a book because they've just been so profound. It's amazing. So holographic dimensional healing picks up on the barcode within your dimensional vibratory field. That barcode contains information. That information is relayed to me, and I narrate that information to you. Now, it's not just that, because where there's a barcode, there means that there is a disturbance in some way. And the tuning fork, yes, I do change frequencies sometimes, and it is all intuitively guided. So the tuning fork will, again, pick up on that information, and it will get stuck. It will get cold. It will do some crazy things at times when it actually connects with one of those barcodes. And I will be narrating what is happening and also chiming the tuning fork, moving that through the barcode, and the barcode will eventually dissolve because the frequency that is used, and very crudely, the waveform of what's in your holographic field, which will be a disturbed waveform, disturbance in the waveform, I should say. The tuning fork helps to smooth out that waveform, so that disturbance is no longer there. So that's where the healing part comes in. So I'm not sure if this is making sense to you. Please let me know if it does, because that's the easiest way I have to explain it. So something like anxiety, for example, I've worked with that a lot. That will have a particular disturbance in what is the natural waveform in your holographic resonant field. This tuning fork, a tuning fork, will pick up on that disturbance and help smooth that disturbance out while sending information to me of what caused that disturbance from, say, the grooves of the record. And that's basically how it works. But then what happens is the information that comes through can be from this lifetime. So perhaps something happened to you in this lifetime to cause that anxiety, and we talk about that. But then that can also be that there was something from a past life that caused that. It could be an ancestral life. It could be an ancestral past life. And when I personally discovered that, I was amazed what I was being told and shown, that you potentially could have been your great-great-great-grandmother, which makes that an ancestral past life. I've also been shown what I've been told is concurrent or parallel lives, and they come across quite different that I'm learning, because as I'm using this own modality, said it's through me, I'm learning it myself. I'm being taught this modality myself as I'm using it and taken to some magical places. So the concurrent parallel lives, that's what I'm being given, is what they are. And within those, there is no ascension. And I'm very mindful of that word, because when we come to a past life, that life ascends. Know that we are dealing with just a small little portion, a little part of the puzzle, the piece of that whole hologram. That hologram has already long ascended a long time ago. We don't use the word die or death. That's too traumatic and it's just not needed. We are dealing with this little piece of the puzzle that's left over from that trauma. And that needs to reconnect with and complete the ascension of the original holographic body that was in that time. And with that being broken away, that piece of the puzzle being missing, that holographic resonance that incarnated into other lifetimes would have always been missing that part of the puzzle. So perhaps in the next lifetime, that event happened again. So there was another piece taken out. And in the next lifetime, there was another piece taken out. Now, sometimes what I'm finding after using this modality for a number of years is that if or when the tuning forks connect with the first instance of where that piece of the holographic body resonance was left behind during that first ascension, if we connect with that and then make that hologram complete, then that next incarnation, there was never a piece missing. There was never a piece missing, and so on. And so if we get to that one, that can have absolutely phenomenal changes and has done. And I will be narrating some of those stories of clients' experiences of what's happened to them during these sessions, which I think you can see is absolutely astounding me what's happening. You could call that quantum. I don't like the word quantum, it's too overused. So that's why it is holographic as well. So there's that side. So there is an ascension that has already happened, and then we ascend this part of the hologram should that be needed. It's not always needed. Now, some people may say, how do I know past lives exist? How do I know it was ancestral, etc.? What about these multi-dimensional things that are happening? I actually don't know. That's just what I'm shown. And I'm very truthful about what I'm saying and how I say it. And from my experience, what I do know and understand in my world, from my training over these many years, is that the subconscious represents itself in pictures. Those pictures are also held in your holographic resonance field. Is this picking up on those pictures? Maybe, maybe not. As yet, no one, for my satisfaction, has ever explained past lives. I don't totally believe, I don't totally disbelieve. I'm in that what if on the fence situation. It may or may not be. But it's also the situation that if these pick up on a past life where you may have been a lion tamer, because that has actually come up once, somebody was a lion tamer, then, and clearing the holographic resonance barcode, and you feel better about whatever it was that we were dealing with, anxiety, and that no longer bothers you, doesn't matter. Does it matter? In my world, it doesn't matter whether it was a past life or was not a past life. The fact is that you feel better. And that's what this is really ultimately all about. So from the dimensional side, man, it can go to some crazy places. I can't even begin to tell you, because that challenges my mind significantly where this actually goes to. And yeah, I don't quite know what's happening in there as yet. Some people are saying perhaps I'm remote viewing. I don't know. I've never done it. Some people are suggesting I'm time traveling. I don't know. Don't think I've ever done that either. But there's some weird and wonderful things that can happen in these areas. Please know that I cannot call these up. So if you book a session with me and say, I want to go to a dimensional place, I want to see all these various other beings, etc., I can't guarantee that, because that's just what is in your holographic field. And that's what's being connected with, same as the past ancestral lives. So I hope that it helped explain the holographic dimensional healing side of things. And when you listen back to the tales of dimensional healing, that you can understand a little bit more about where I personally am when I'm actually performing these sessions, whether you're with me in person or not. And also know that should we go to what is labeled as a past life, when I am in that situation, when I can see what's there, I am totally there. My holographic body is completely in that picture. I can see 360 degrees around me. I can see every fine detail of what is there. I've recently recorded one about ancient Egypt, and I can tell you all the detail of what was in that picture, all the embroidery that I saw, the bed coverings, the curtains, the colors. I completely see everything all around me. And I'm totally there when this happens, which is, for me, is absolutely fascinating. I love it. And I try to create that picture for you, who I'm working with, or whomever it is I'm working with, so you can be there with me. Some people can see the same thing and some cannot. So it all depends on your ability. But know that you do not have to be visual at all to enjoy any of these sessions. That is absolutely not necessary. I am visual, I'm auditory, I'm kinesthetic, I'm all of those things. But you do not have to be. That's my job, to do that and bring that information through to you. And hopefully it will make sense to you, and it will create some form of recognition, some form of healing for you, some form of closure perhaps with some things. But if nothing else, it creates an awareness and understanding of where these things have come from. And in doing so, you can then make those changes yourself. So thank you so much for listening, and please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you find this interesting. And also feel free to ask me any questions, and I will always do my best to answer you. Thank you very much.